Hello and welcome. In this video, I am going to be going through my Christmas wish list for 2024, and I'm going to combine it with my luxury wish list for 2025, because whatever I don't get over Christmas, then I will buy in the new year. I'm Anesu Sagonda, and I produce educational luxury content for anyone after the finer things, whether you're young and starting out in life and wanting to reap the benefits of buying better quality from the get-go, or you're new to money and wanting to learn how to navigate the terrain, or you're into luxury but you want to focus more on high quality under the radar brands, then my content is geared towards you. I'm hoping Santa, gifts from family, friends, vouchers, gift cards, for example, will cover my entire, if not most of my Christmas wish list. Whatever's left over will be bumped into my luxury wish list for 2025, and I will top up or save or do whatever I need to do to buy the remaining items. There are two things that are motivating my two wish lists, or the main wish list. Firstly, I'm somebody who is not really into luxury products. Think, for example, bags, shoes, jewelry, that sort of thing. I'm a lot more inclined to spend money on experiences, whether it's experiences that involve traveling, dining out, cultural pursuits, going to the opera, the ballet, a book reading, a book launch. That sort of thing really brings a lot of joy to me, and I will spend money on that. Or experiences that elevate the whole experience at home. I like spending time at home. I really am becoming a homebod the older I'm getting, and just elevating, whether it's dining, sleeping, the entertainment experience, buying a new dinner set that just brings a lot of joy and I enjoy using it, and there's stories around it, and dinner with different people, all of those memories. That is where I'm really focused. The second motivator is on quite a few of the items I have on my wish list, buying things that are heirloom quality. There are items I would like to pass on. In my will state, they have to be kept within the family and passed on from generation to generation. So I'm really focused on designs that are timeless and on quality, incredibly good quality. That's where I'm really focused. So if you're somebody who's similar, who's maybe a little more mature, who wants to focus more on just elevating the whole experience, enjoying life, creating lasting memories, creating an absolutely outstanding environment at home that you really enjoy. You want to spend time at home because it's a beautiful home. You've made it really special for you. Then this is the video for you. The first few things I will talk about are the household items. The first is upgrading from champagne flutes to champagne tulips. Champagne is a drink that is drunk a lot in my household. We drink it to celebrate a special occasion, an achievement, or if it's been a really tough week, just to say, oh my goodness, let's put the week behind us. It's also a drink that is served whenever we have guests, to toast literally the gift of life. Life is not promised, and that's something that I'm always mindful of after the pandemic, that every moment has to be celebrated. And so champagne is a drink that's really important, I enjoy, and would like to upgrade to something, a design that's a little more modern, a little more contemporary, a design that'll bring a lot more joy at the moment. The flutes are just a little boring. Need glasses that are durable. I've explored Riedels, they have champagne flutes, but they're just too thin. We use them a lot, so need something a little more hard-wearing. Also in the same league, but a lot more expensive, there's Zalto that I've also looked at, but just too thin. A bit anxious anxious because they're used so often. So something a little more hard-wearing. I've seen some tulips from LSA, but I would like a slightly different brand, something in between LSA and Zalto. I've seen a couple of Italian brands in Harvey Nichols that I'd like to go back and explore. But that's something that's really important, and I'd like to do before Christmas. And the second is I would like to get a Staub Cocotte, and in particular a color that I don't have in my kitchen. I have light yellow, a chiffon yellow in mind. I've seen that in Harrods. And I just like a color that's just different, that I don't have, something that stands out. Something that will also be a serving piece. So prepare whatever it is in the cocotte, on the stove, in the oven, and then it's served on the table in the same cocotte. Also on my list is new frying pans. Currently have non-stick pots and pans from Scanpan. I've ruined the frying pans. The two frying pans I have, a shallow and a deep one, and I'm thinking, do I replace with like for like, or use this as the perfect opportunity to try a new brand? Would also like to add a saucepan or two, or even a frying pan in copper. Trying to decide whether to go with all clad in just the copper trim that I've spoken about in the video attached above, or going for a full copper pot. I'm still umming and ahhing, trying to decide what I'd like the look of, but it's very much going to be about performance, really good quality pan, possibly a brand or two I haven't spoken about, a brand that's still outstanding. This will give me the chance to try the brand and also talk about it. So that's something that I'm going to be doing more so early part of next year. And then the other thing I'd also like to focus on, really important, is linen. Table linen and bed linen. Recently moved house and bought a new bed, a bigger bed. Currently have a number of sets of Yves Saint Laurent bed linen, which I've been using for a number of years and thoroughly enjoy and will keep. And that'll be moved to a different bed. And then the new bed is super king size, and this will be the perfect opportunity to try a number of new brands on my radar. I've been actively exploring linen. A lot of the bed linen I've spoken about is made from cotton. Would like to look at linen. We have maybe a few weeks, a month at most in the United Kingdom in the summer when it's too hot for even a light duvet. And I'd like to buy 2 linen sheets, a base sheet, a top sheet. So I've been looking at Eastern European linen. I've been looking at Belgian, Italian. I've been looking at Irish linen. They use different flax and end up with a different type of weave. So I've been exploring different options, a number of brands on my radar. There's one I'm particularly focused on. It's an Irish brand called GUIBERT, and they have 1,400 per kale bed linen. I'm receiving the sample in literally a couple of days, just before Christmas. They're going to have a 20% sale in the build up to Christmas, and I think just after. So it'll be the perfect opportunity to be able to buy new bed linen if I really like the sample. I also like to explore table linen. I'm somebody who's not into tablecloths. Maybe alfresco dining if I had a home in South Africa or Zimbabwe, for example. But I'm in the United Kingdom with a small garden. I'm a lot more focused on the other pieces. The only linen I'm really focused on this year is on napkins. I have many brands on my radar, and what stopped me from pulling the trigger is I have information overload. I don't know which brands I'd like to go for. There are many, and I'd only like to buy 3, maximum 4 sets, 2 for every day, and then 2 special occasion. And then I'm umming and ahhing whether to go for day napkins, evening napkins, different sizes, different weave patterns. There are just so many things I'd like to consider. I have looked at, for example, Summerall and Bishop, a brand I've spoken about. They would be more everyday, and they would add pops of color to the table setting, for example. I've also looked at Beltrami, a brand I've spoken about this year. I like their Shakadi. I've also looked at a British brand called Gale Warwick, and I'll talk about that brand, but more later on in the year, but more so the occasion napkins. They have some beautiful napkins, and that brand is on my radar. But there are quite a few brands on my radar that I will talk about during the course of the year, as and when I buy the sets. And I will talk about the brands and then talk about linen as well, what to consider, the different types of weaves from the different countries. And then the final homeware item is artwork. Recently moved house, as I mentioned, and the year before lockdown, year or two before lockdown, attended the first ever African contemporary art auction at Sotheby's. Thoroughly enjoyed the experience, and a number of artists suddenly came onto my radar. And then last year in South Africa, stayed at Lewis Estate in Cape Town, and outside the bedroom there was a huge painting by a South African artist called Ricky Dialoy, and he's focused on pieces that represent everyday life in South Africa, and I liked the big piece that was outside the room. So something big, something that stands out. And there was another artist as well that I also liked his work, Vusi Kumalo, and he's focused on pictures of people. So something big as well from him. At Lewis Estate, they have an art gallery on site, Everett Reed. Everett Reed also have a branch in the United Kingdom. So exploring some of the pieces that they have, the artists they represent, and it'll be a good way to introduce myself, to get into African artwork, designers, South African designers I'd like to support, possibly even look at a couple of sculptures as well. So that's something I really would like to do, invest in artwork and specifically African artwork. And then the luxury items, I have 3 items. The first is a pair of boots. I'm not overly fussy in terms of I need to get them next year. I will only get them when I have the right pair. I have been asked on numerous occasions to talk about bespoke shoes. I'm working on that video as we speak. And there are a number of designers in different countries, so I'm grouping them together. And I've been umming and ahhing whether to get a pair of boots from a ready-to-wear brand. Think, for example, Prada. If you remember, a couple of years ago, I had an issue with a pair of boots from Prada. I'm going to attach the video above. And Prada were incredibly gracious enough to sort out the issue, the mess that Matches Fashion left. And I'll talk about that in a different video. But whilst in the boutique a couple of times, I noticed a pair of chocolate brown boots, knee-length, flat. And I thought, oh, I quite like that design, and I get a lot of mileage from that sort of style. So I'm umming and ahhing whether to go the ready-to-wear route or to look for something custom-made, depending on the budget, the style, the leathers I'd like. Then I choose the appropriate designer. So that's something that I'm slowly working through and trying to figure out what would I like to do. And then the second item is I'd like to pull the trigger on a custom bag. I have spoken about Atelier Renard, a mid-tier custom-focused brand. I'm going to attach the video above. And they have a travel bag I would like to focus on next year. But I'd also like to look at an entry-level brand. And I've been asked by my viewers about an Italian brand called Masasesi. Marco Masasesi, the owner of the brand, actually reached out a number of months ago, possibly beginning part of 2024. And I mentioned I am going to be in Italy next year, focusing on Italian and Spanish brands. And I will visit his workshop and get to learn his brand, and then possibly look at investing in a bag. I would like to be able to create content where I compare and contrast entry-level, mid-tier, and a top-end custom brand. What are you getting? Regardless of the level, the quality has to be absolutely outstanding for the respective level, but also the service has to be fantastic. Both have to be delivered at a very high standard. So that's something I'm going to be exploring next year, and I'm going to pull the trigger on that. And I'm excited because Marco's offering is very different. What I've seen online when I've looked at the Masasesi website is different to what other brands are offering, and variety is absolutely fantastic. We like that. And then the final luxury item is a carryover from my list from 2 years ago, pearl earrings. Went around, looked at a number of jewelers, and then quite randomly this summer, I think it was July, August, I was in central London and stumbled upon a jeweler focused on custom pieces as well as antique pieces. And I saw 2 pairs of pearl earrings in the window that I liked. One fairly simple, very simple, non-fussy design. And the second pair was simple, but it had a little bit of ornate detail on the earring. It was a drop pearl. And I signaled to the assistant what I liked in the window, and she brought those in and opened the door and let me in. Then I sat down, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, these are very expensive," referencing the ornate earrings. And I was a little taken aback, and I thought, oh, and very quickly I thought, it's either she thinks I can't afford the earrings, or she thinks they're too expensive for what they are. And I responded and said, money's not the issue. The issue for me is the design first and foremost. When I see something I like, then I will consider the cost and whether I can afford it, or if I'm going to be able to save, or whatever I'm going to do. So I was a little taken aback, and that affected the rest of our interaction. I tried to be incredibly gracious and laugh and chat with her, but did she judge me when she saw me and come to the conclusion I couldn't afford them? And then a couple of weeks ago, I went back to the jeweler to see if they had the exact shade of pink that I wanted. And they did. And I'm now faced with a dilemma. Do I swallow hard and just go back and buy them? Or do I just say, you know what, it's okay. You can find them somewhere else, because I'm all about the experience. The earrings are beautiful, they're well made, but the experience has to be really important. And these are earrings that are heirloom quality that I really would like to hand down to the next generation, and they're passed on from generation to generation. And we detail stories depending on who has the earrings, and you pass on the story to the next generation, and they know how much joy the earrings brought to you. So if you were in my position, what would you do? Would you swallow hard and go back, or find something somewhere else? Because the design is a design that can be replicated by someone else. The final item on my wish list is an experience. A couple of years ago, I was incredibly lucky enough to have been gifted a rather swish spa day at the Aman Spa in the Connaught Hotel in London. It involved a full day being able to use the spa facilities and a number of treatments. And I thoroughly enjoyed myself and thought, you know what? I think it would be great to do this once a year, a little treat, something really special, and then I just maintain the rest of the year, the high. And then earlier on this year, started the year at Aman Puri Resort in Phuket in Thailand, a resort that's geared towards wellness, whether it's treatments, pampering, or using the medical facilities, for example. And I remember spending the most glorious week there and coming back and maintaining what I achieved there this year during the course of the year, and just thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next year? And then lo and behold, I was talking to a girlfriend, and then she said, oh, if you're really into spas and just enjoying the experience and going for an elevated spa, why don't we go to the Bürgenstock Hotel in Switzerland? It is a jaw-dropping hotel. It has the most breathtaking views of Lake Lucerne. The hotel itself is incredibly highly respected for their spa facility. They have a lot of different facilities within the spa, so you can go hiking, pampering, rest, relaxation. They have a number of medical treatments. I'm not sure how invasive, but it's really geared towards the whole wellness element, and it's done incredibly well and executed at an incredibly high standard. So I thought, okay, why not? It's something that I'm willing to beg, borrow, and literally steal to be able to get enough money to go. And it's something that I would like to do. It gives me something to look forward to. And it'll be a girls' holiday, which makes it even more exciting. A chance to catch up and giggle and drink champagne and have fun and just be absolutely pampered, and then just enjoy that, the results of that for the rest of the year. So those are my wish list items for 2024 into 2025. Are any of those on any of my viewers' wish lists? Is there anything that you've seen that has inspired you? As always, let me know in the comments down below.